Hello, viewer. Welcome to a big mystery on Full Record Jacket with Phil and Ben. And Ben,
And me.
last night, messaged me and
I
asked me to
did.
pick random numbers.
And
And
what numbers? What did you
I
choose?
can't remember what you gave me. Ranges of numbers. I had to just pick a number from that range.
You had
I
to choose
can't
either
remember.
19 or 20. You picked 20. You then had a choice between 0 and 23. You picked 17, which means you picked the year 2017. I asked you to choose a number
How
between
did I
1
not
and
realise that's what it was?
I asked you to
Yeah.
choose a number between 1 and 12. You chose 6, which is June. And then a number between 1 and 4. You chose 1, which is the first week of June 2017. Do you know what you were doing on the first week of June 2017, Philster?
I don't.
No, and nor do I, because it was probably just another year in our lives, week in our lives anyway. But what I want to do, I'm going to go through. I'm going to give you some album titles from that year, from that week, from the top 10. In fact, I could do it from the top 20, and you can tell me. You can have a guess, and if you get it wrong, you don't get a point. You've got to get, because this is 2017, the kind of out of your genre or year. You've got to get 3.
I got to guess 3 albums that were in the charts.
No. I'm going to read you out the album title. You got to tell me the artist.
Oh, okay. That's a little bit easier because otherwise I would have no clue. Okay.
And yeah, you've got to get 3. So
Okay.
what is 3? 3 out of 20.
Okay. I'm up for that.
So are you ready?
I'm
At
ready.
20 was the album Crooked Teeth, but what was the artist?
I don't know. I was probably really out of anything that was current at that time.
Papa Roach. Do you remember them?
Yeah, heard of them. So that's who did that. Okay.
Right. At 19, Humans with a Z. There's a little clue with that Z.
Jay-Z.
No, it was Gorillaz, Damon Albarn's animated band. And you've heard of Gorillaz, obviously. I should have given you a point if you've heard of the band as well. So, I'll try and give you some clues on the ones that I know of. At 18 was a compilation, and it's called The Best So Far, from a 2000s noughties indie band.
If only I'd picked 19, I'd probably been right with it.
You would have been right, yeah. I thought as soon as you picked it, I'll give you a clue. They had big hits in around 2005, 2006. They toured with Noel Gallagher last year. The lead singer used to date Katie Melua.
Keen?
No, it was the Kooks.
Oh. I got the right first letter.
You did, yeah. Right, next, Manchester. One of Manchester's favourite sons, and the album is called Wonderland.
I think that's Gary Barlow. No, or is it?
Well, you're a third of the way there.
It's Take That then.
It is Take That. Philster, you've got 1. You are 33.3% of the way there. Glory Days.
God.
Glory Days. They're a girl group. I think there's 4 of them.
Now, the one girl group has popped into my head, and could that be a greatest hits album? Glory Days. Or will that just be a new album that was new at the time? The girl group name that popped into my head, but I don't know whether it was the right era because it could be longer ago than I think. But I'm going to say Little Mix.
I was just about to say there's a clue on the screen. It is Little Mix. I should have made this 5. You only need 1, and I think you're going to get that quite easily. At 15 was California. Let's make it 5. Oh, you're up in the ante. He's up in the ante. We're going for 5, ladies and gentlemen. California. That you're going for 20. You only 25%.
I don't know. I'm trying to think who did an album called
a
California.
sort of very, very late 90s into the noughties, sort of emo punk rockers from California. Is emo the right word you'd give them? I suppose so, yeah.
Green Day?
No, it was Blink 182.
Oh, do you know that was the other one that I was going to say.
Right, at 14 is a soundtrack, and there is no title for it. So I am going to wipe this one out because it's the Moana soundtrack, and it is literally called Motion Picture Cast Recording, which is the worst title ever. But one I think you're going to get quite easily. At 13, it peaked at number 1, 153 weeks in the charts, and the album title is X.
Okay, I think X. Yeah, I think it's known as. Is it also known as Multiply? I think it's Ed Sheeran.
It is the Sheeran of Edster. Right, at number 12, you got 3. You are 60% of the way to success. Right, at number 12 is an album called Damn. And I can't really tell. I don't know if he's a hip hop guy. I'm not really down with
I'm not going to get it then, am I? Really?
It's Kendrick Lamar.
Oh, I would never have thought of it. I've heard of him, but I would never have thought of it.
At 11 is an album. It spent 4 weeks on the charts. It peaked at number 4. No, it spent 2 weeks on the charts at this point. It peaked at number 4. The week before this, it was at number 4. And the album is called After Laughter. I don't know too much about this band, so I can't really tell you a great deal.
I'm trying to think what was around in 2017 that would have been called After Laughter. It sounds a bit more pop than alternative to me, but I don't know. I really don't know.
Look at the cranium bulging with thoughts.
I'm trying to think could it even be a boy band? Is it like a boy band type thing?
I don't know. I don't know anything about this group.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to know who they are then, am I? I'll say One Direction. Oh, okay. Fine.
Do you know anything about them?
No. In fact, I may vaguely have heard of the name of the band, but I don't know anything about them.
I don't know. Right. Next up, we have discussed him a couple of shows back. At number 10, A Kind Revolution. It peaked at number 5. This was its second week on the chart, and it was at number 10.
Who did this?
Big in the 80s, found his grounding again in the 90s.
Is this an artist who is a British and he's a singer, songwriter, guitarist?
Yes.
And he's known for fronting a very highly acclaimed band back in the day.
Yes.
Is it Paul Weller?
It is Ronan Keating.
Oh, God.
No, it's Paul Weller. It's Paul Weller.
Do you know, I was thinking that didn't... What's it called again, the album?
A Kind Revolution.
It didn't sound quite Paul Wellery to me, but obviously...
It's Paul Weller, you are literally 80% of the way there.
He's made a lot of records, hasn't he? He's made a lot of
albums. He has made a lot of records, yeah. Next up, More Life, another hip hoppy kind of guy. Loves a bit of a diss.
Kanye West.
No, it is Drake.
Oh, another one of them. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
If I'd have listed him, if I'd had to do a list, but I probably wouldn't have got to him until about 4 or 5 names in. So,
well, at 8 for Crying Out Loud.
again,
The week before it was number 7. It'd been on the chart for 3 weeks. It peaked at number 1.
Someone who had a number 1 album in
Number 1 album from the Midlands area.
I'm not sure if that really helps me.
Their lead singer left and went solo, and their main songwriter took over vocals.
Oh, okay. Well, I now know who this is. You've helped me too much, though, really. But is it Kasabian?
It is Westlife.
Oh.
No, it's Kasabian. You have reached the magic marker, Phil. You're now just playing for laughs and giggles.
Well, I'm not sure. I didn't really get Kasabian. I think you gave me too much clue there. Really.
I did there, didn't I? Didn't I? At number 7, Common Sense. Something we're both lacking on a daily basis.
I can't think who would have done an album called Common Sense.
I've never heard of this guy band. Spent 2 weeks on the charts, peaked at number 6, dropped down a place. Jay Huss. No, nothing to me either. Number 6, big in the 80s. The album's called World Be Gone. This was a new entry on the chart. Its peak was number 6 because this was its opening place in the chart.
Was this an artist who was big in the 80s?
They were big in the 80s.
Is it a woman?
No. I think it's 2 blokes.
Okay. Are they a bit arty, intellectual?
I suppose they're intellectual, yeah.
Did they have a lot of hit records in the 80s?
They had a few hit records in the 80s, yeah.
And does one of them not do very much in terms of moving around?
Yeah, one of them doesn't do a lot, yeah.
and is one of them known for wearing totally different outfits to the other one?
I think so, yeah.
I'm saying it's the Pet Shop Boys.
It's not, but you're close. It was Erasure.
Oh.
It was Erasure. Very similar, those. Anyway, at 5, the album's called 50. It's a new entry. Peaked at number 5 because it's its first week on the charts. And it's called 50.
2017. And the band had...
Solo artist, male.
Okay. A male artist had an album
called 50.
Is that because he was 50 in 2017?
I think it's probably more the fact he'd been around for 50 years, maybe. Possibly.
2017. So that would have been 1967, wouldn't it? That it would have been the 50 years since 1967, which makes me think, oh, now is this an American singer-songwriter?
No, he's English.
Okay, because I had an idea who it was for a second, then it's obviously not who I thought it was. '50 and 2017. Where did it peak on the chart?
This was its opening week.
I'm trying to think which is a British male solo artist.
Yeah.
Has he always been a solo artist? Always been known as a solo artist?
Yeah. Went to number 1, stopped somebody going to number 1.
I'm trying to think who's been around since who started having hits in 1967. If it was 67 to 27.
Had an iconic number 1. that stopped an iconic number one. Here we go, people. He hasn't. His video.
Is
hasn't
this an
caught
old
it.
guy? Is this an old guy who's quite middle of the road in his music style?
Yeah,
Is it Engelbert Humperdinck?
it is Engelbert Humperdinck. We got there in the end. Look at him. He's had a celebrationary swig of water.
Oh, I have.
Fill
I've
his
got to have
back in the room. Look at him. Look at that little derpy smile on
At
his
first, I
face.
thought it was going to. At first, I was thinking it was Neil Diamond.
No.
And he said he's not American. So
He's not American, and he stopped an iconic number one going to number one.
that was Strawberry Fields Forever and Penny Lane, wasn't it?
It was indeed. It was indeed. At 4, One More Light, new entry.
One More Light.
Think sort of late 90s, early noughties, emo-y sort of punk band who suffered a loss in recent years.
I've only, I didn't guess Blink 182, and that was the only other sort of band I think of as emo.
I think they're classed as emo. They're not
Really?
emo. They're more. Are they more sort of not heavy metal, but that sort of.
And somebody from the band has obviously died recently.
Yes.
I can't think which band that is that someone has. Is it American?
It is American.
Is it Soundgarden?
No, it is Linkin Park.
Oh, the other one. Yeah.
Yes. Right, we're into top 3. Only, and you're not going to be embarrassed because you've passed the threshold by 20%. Human spent 15 weeks at number 1, peaked at 15 weeks in the charts, peaked at number 1, and hadn't moved in this week of the chart. It was number 3. Big song around that time was called Human. And he's a big guy.
Oh, what's his name? Oh, I've forgotten his flipping name.
Bit Steptoe and Son. Oh.
I can't remember his name.
You're going to hate yourself, aren't you?
It's not Rag and Bone Man.
It is Rag and Bone Man.
That's it.
Right.
I was for a second then I was thinking of that guy, the other guy, the guy that wears the thing around his face. The black guy who wears the cap and he wears like the woolly balaclava thing. Well, not a total balaclava because you can see his face, but you know the one I mean.
I think
he sometimes sings on Jules Holland's show, and I've forgotten his name. I can't remember his name. But then I realised it's not him. It's Rag and Bone Man.
Well, at number 2, spent 2 weeks on the charts. It peaked the week before at number 1. The album title. Now, if you don't get this, Philster, there is something wrong with you. He came from a boy band, big boy band from sort of like the late noughties, early 10s, or from the 10s, I think. No, from the 10s, definitely the 10s, not the noughties. The album title is called Harry Styles.
Is it? I was going to say I was going to say him anyway if it was whatever the title was. So
who do you think it is then, Philster?
I think it probably is Harry. I think it probably is
Harry.
I think his surname's Styles. I'm going for Harry Styles.
Gonna have to push you for an answer.
Yeah, we'll go for Harry
Styles.
Yeah.
What do you reckon? Close enough? Yeah. Yeah, it's Harry Styles. Right, at number 1. Oh, God, I tell you what, if I'd known these last 2 albums before I'd done this, I would have made the cut-off 10, which means you would have got 9 out of this. But the album at number 1 this week.
Was it an old album?
No. Okay. No, you can gamble, Philster. I mean, you've got nothing to lose here, apart from pride itself. You can gamble all your points. and live a life of mediocrity, and I will give you the clues, or as in give you the album name, or I will just tell you how many weeks it was on the charts and maybe give you an obscure clue and you work it out from there.
I don't think I'll get it from an obscure clue.
It'd been on the chart for 12 weeks. Last week it was at number 2. It went back up to number 1. He spent a lot of time sleeping on other people's sofas.
So
very big all across the world.
2017.
You may have already mentioned him.
Oh, it's Ed. I'm going to have to say that it's Ed Sheeran, because this was around the time of Ed Sheeran being really, really big. So
it was Divide by Ed Sheeran.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy that?
It was quite interesting, actually.
To go back, I think we may do this more regularly, sort of pick a year, a week, and just go through the chart of that and see how rubbish it was or how good it was. 2017.
I honestly didn't twig that I was picked for. I don't know why. When you asked me pick 20 or 19, I didn't realise it. I was picking a year.
I like to have new ideas, Phil. So I like to try and think on the hop. So I thought, well, we could have a look back at a week in music, at a snapshot of the album charts, and see if they were rubbish or not. And to be fair,
yeah, it's good. I thought that you were getting me to pick a song or something, or
no,
track on an album or something.
To be fair, the album, that top 20 is very meh, I'd say.
I can't say I particularly want to listen to most of that.
No. I mean, Rag and Bowman, I've got. Kind Revolution, that's a good Paul Weller album. The Ed Sheeran albums, you know what you're getting. The Wonderland, Take That album, I do actually own that. That's not a bad album, very good pop record. And I suppose, I haven't got that Gorillaz album, and I don't mind the Kooks, so it's fairly meh. 2017, June the 1st. Thank you. It's been an honour.
I'm trying to think what my fate. What if I had to listen to one of those albums, which one I'd pick? I'd probably go for the Paul Weller one, to be honest. I can't think.
Yeah, it's a good album, that Kind Revolution. So
I don't think I'd want to listen to the whole Ed Sheeran one. Isn't that the one that's got the flipping one about the Irish girl or something on it?
I hate that song with a passion.
The
Kasabian album, I suppose, wouldn't be too bad. But yeah, that's how it was. I mean, it could have been worse. I could have started at 24, because that was 25 by Adele, which I'd rather eat a plate of my own vomit.
There you go.
There we go.
So, viewer,
thank you.
What year should we do? What year should we do next? Let us know if you've got an idea.
Yeah.
Please make it start with 19. Then I'll have heard of. Probably.
Yeah. 19 and then a 3.
Yeah.
The year Phil was born.
That'll do.
32 or 34. Can't remember.
Until then, thanks for watching. Join us for another
Be good. I'll have a laptop next time.